Let's continue this conversation and bring in the co-author of this proposal, Republican Study Committee Chairman, the man from Oklahoma, the Congressman Kevin Hern. He joins us now. So, Congressman, sounds like a great plan, but what kind of traction are you getting in the House on this new proposal that'll balance the budget in, 7 years?
It will, and thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. You know, this budget is for all Americans. It's about getting our fiscal house back in order. You served here. You know how difficult it is for people to look at cutting spending because everybody likes spending on both sides of the aisle. But what we also know in the next 10 years, as you just laid out, if we do nothing, Social Security and Medicare are going to be cut on average 23% across the board. So the president's plan is to do nothing and have those cuts occur in the wee hours of the night, borrow more money from China. What we're saying is we know this happening, not from a political standpoint, but from all the outside groups. The people are looking at this from OMB and CBO are all looking at this saying we're going to have to do something. And what we have decided to do is to look at this as we've always done and do what President Reagan did with Social Security and do what President Clinton did with Medicare and get it where it lasts. It keeps the promises that we've made to our seniors and to those near retirement so that they have what they've paid in their entire life. They can be secured, and that's what this budget does.
I didn't want to give away kind of one of the big nuggets in this plan, but it's to raise the retirement age to 69 for those turning 62 in 2033. Bold move. Can you get the entire party of the GOP on board with it and even pull over some Democrats?
Well, as we've said, is that this is a budget, and what's always said is show us your budget, we'll show you our values, and what we're talking about is saving Social Security and Medicare for those who are near retirement or in retirement. We will not touch that at all. And then what it talks about is those less than 59, 57, 58, where it grows at 3 months per year. 2 months per year, 2 months per year for the remainder of that time till you get there. So it's a long phase in. The same thing that Ronald Reagan did to save Social Security and move it, 40 years down the road. And that's what we want to do here is do a Ronald Reagan plan, do a Bill Clinton plan to save Medicare, to make sure that it moves down the road so that we have this and we stop talking about it. It shouldn't be politicized. You heard Sean just mention the ads that were ran. And that's sad because we should do this in a bipartisan way. Democrats and Republicans alike should want to save Social Security and Medicare for our seniors.
And Americans are living longer, and I think it's important to tell those who are going to retire in 2033, they're going to turn 62, that if we don't do anything, if we don't increase the retirement age, you may actually get nothing or a fraction of what you were promised. So do you want to take this deal where it's going to be preserved and protected? You might get a little bit later, but you're going to get what you bargained for, or the Joe Biden plan where you do nothing and risk losing everything?
Well, one of the big problems we have is we have fewer people working today than in modern history. When we have a participation rate of around 60%, we need more Americans in the workforce funding these plans, these programs that depend on payroll taxes. We don't need to be raising the cost of payroll taxes. That's the Democrats' standalone plan, is just go raise payroll taxes. It's going to take upwards of doubling the payroll taxes that employers and employees pay, but it doesn't structurally fix the problem. And what we're talking about is getting more people in the workforce with more payroll taxes. They're getting the independence of having a job and receiving a payroll. But what's happening as a byproduct of that, more payroll taxes are going into Social Security and Medicare so that those programs are preserved and they're linked in and they're out there for assurance for those who have been paying in their entire life. Along with the number of jobs that this bill creates, it also secures our border. It has energy security in it as well, and also economic security. What Americans are talking about across America, they're talking about inflation. You just alluded to that right before this episode. And what's going on is it's the spending that's going on. And so we've got to cut the spending, as you alluded to, and get us back to a balanced budget so that we can reset this great American experiment called the United States of America. And that's what's really important. Demonstrate to the world we can do it.
Congressman Kevin Hern, chair of the study committee, putting out bold plans to try to fix America's problems. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
It's great to be with you.